Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt. I am with Illinois WorkNet, and we are hosting our IYIP technical assistance call. And we have just a couple of things to discuss before we open it up for questions. I do know that we had a question from Ms. Toby that Brandon needs to answer. So Toby, if you want to ask that question again.
I know the IYIP program ended last month, and the new one is starting. Is it going to have the same name?
And Brandon, you're on mute.
Yeah, was it just the question, is it going to have the same name?
Well, we went from YIP to IYIP every time a program changed. So the one that's starting up for this next fiscal year, is it still going to be IYIP?
Yes, it will still be IYIP. The only difference of the July 1st, and I know this probably isn't your question, but I have had several questions about this with from new providers, especially with the new fiscal year. You don't have to start with new youth. The current youth, if they've been working a month or two, especially like in the summer program, they don't have to stop or anything. The only difference is the grant funds from FY21 to FY22. So after June 30th, you have to stop paying anything out of FY21. FY21, like that pot is closed, it's done. So on July 1st and after, you have to start using FY22. And that's the only difference about July 1st. So the summer program can continue, categories 2, 3, and 4 continue. You know, it doesn't affect any of that.
Okay, because I didn't know if I had to discharge everyone like I did in YIP. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
No, because I'm saying I've had probably a good 8, 10, 12 people ask me about that. Do I have to discharge youth as of June 30th? No. The only reason youth would have to stop receiving subsidized wages or training stipends or incentives or anything is if they'd reached their maximum number of days, which would be impossible at this point, really, unless it was category 2 and they started right at like October, November, and they already got their 9 months in. But
okay, but I did have some youth that came out of YEEP and their hours didn't reset.
That shouldn't count. But YEP, the YEP does not have anything to do with IYIP.
And my programmer is working on making sure that those dates reset.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah. Yes, all youth. It doesn't matter if they were in CYEP, YEP, or whatever. They start fresh in IYIP.
So in there, I don't remember if it's on the application page or the progress page, but it's right up under where you change a program. It lists the number of days that they worked. Like some had 114 days, some had 92, some had whatever. That doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay.
So the programmer is working diligently and he's been working on DHS bug things all day today, and he's going to push them overnight. So I'm hoping that the days are reset when you look at them tomorrow.
Okay.
I can't guarantee it, but I'm hoping that's the resolve.
Okay, well, I just didn't want anything to come up down the road. You know, these kids had hours. Why are you still paying them? They're over their, limit. But if you said it's being fixed, okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and Brandon, there's a question in the chat. It says, is there a delay in processing reimbursements from April?
No, and I was just trying to read those comments and respond, but not that I'm aware of. If, anytime you've submitted an EDF, a monthly expenditure report, and it's it's been several weeks, it's been more than like 2 or 3 weeks, then, and you haven't heard anything about any errors or issues or anything with that expenditure report back from Nicole or me, then please send us the information I asked if you're going to do a payment inquiry. So we need, like your provider name, if it's whatever, Urbana, Neighborhood Connections, whatever, your agency name and your contract number, because we have to have that for fiscal. They do everything by contract number, and the amount and the month. So like $1,000, April 2021, whatever, and the contract number. And we will be happy to put in a payment inquiry for you.
All right, another question. So long as youth have not reached their 9 months, they can continue in IYIP Category 2 program in FY22.
Yes.
And the only thing about the 9 months is the subsidy. They can continue after that, but they just can't get any more subsidized days.
Right. Supportive services, they could still receive supportive services. They just can't receive the subsidized wages or training stipend for more than the maximum that in the grant. If the contract has listed for each category, it's 3 months for 1, 9 months for 2, and then 12 months for 3 and 4.
Okay. All right. So moving on, if you've got any other questions for Brandon, type them into the chat and we'll keep an eye on those. What I do want to show you is I did some fixing over the past few days for the pre-populated steps. And I added someone in test, but I need somebody that may have just been entered. I can't remember if I was working on this Friday afternoon. So I need somebody that one of you guys might have entered today to see if all of the pre-populated steps are showing up on their profile. So if anybody has a customer that you added in today, or if you're going to add somebody tomorrow, send me their name and email address that you logged them in with or that you created the profile with, and I will take a look to make sure that all of those pre-populated steps are showing up. But I did update the list. So the list is on the full list of resources and it is under the pre-populated steps. So if you click that open, you'll see everything is added in here. We do have, I tried to clean it up a little bit so that it shows you how many steps there are. One thing that is just a tiny bit confusing, I've got these 2 steps right here that is complete career education utilizing Illinois Pathways strategies and re-enrolled in high school. So it may show up under complete career readiness, the re-enroll in high school, but it's going to be counted as an improved education outcome. So if you are looking at that particular one, I changed it to show up as improved education outcome, but it may show up as a complete career readiness. And then we have Employment 101 completion are all of these different options because we had to make it match the current steps in Employment 101. So those will need to be on their profile if they didn't do Employment 101 under their DHS Youth. And then we have all of these steps for Casey Life Skills. So we will be tracking all of these pieces. So print off this list. I just updated it on Friday as I was working through to make sure that all of the goals were added into the system for you to use. And remember that if you don't have a step available, these pre-populated ones should be there. If you don't have a step available, you have to add it under the grantee details. And if you don't have it on a customer, you have to add it in the grantee details first. I went over with one of the agencies about the customer services report. And we did talk about that a couple of weeks ago in one of the webinars. So if you do need to watch that webinar again to go over those steps, please look for that customer services report in the agenda items. Okie doke.
Hey, Dee,
Yes, ma'am.
I was checking one of my clients today and I got problems with this pre-populated steps. It was saying null and you're not able to edit.
Yeah, we've got an issue with people that are coming in from last year, and that's one of the bugs that I have my programmer working on. So I actually have to have two programmers work on that together because it is a big problem. And we will try to get that addressed very, very shortly, hopefully this week yet.
Okay, because it does not allow me to add the work experience for the young lady that's working through the summer. So.
And once we get it fixed, that should allow you to do that.
Okay.
And even after you close out a youth, you're able to still work in their career plan.
Okay.
Sorry, Mary, I know you like to be on top of that, but.
Yeah, you caused me some heartaches.
I'm sorry.
Because I do have on there, big problem. I got some more for you. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay. Shauna's asking, Brandon, I closed out the youth in DHS that were 2017, 18, 19 participants. Was that correct to discharge, close them? Sorry if you did say something regarding it. So Brandon, if you want to answer that.
Oh, sorry, about the old youth, I did. I sent her a message.
Okay.
Yes, it's correct to close out the old youth.
Okay. And I just put the link for the pre-populated steps in the chat. If you're adding customers, the pre-populated steps should show up. But if you've got a customer that was added at the beginning of May, you may need to check this list to make sure that they have all of those steps. And use the evaluated not required for tracking these steps, because they all have to be completed for them to count in the performance once we get the performance computerized. Let's see here. So we got the link. Tori's saying, just to clarify, we are able to continue paying incentives for participants who were enrolled in FY21 as long as they have not hit their time limit in the program. Yes, just not out of FY21 funds. Now, there is one thing, and Brandon's mentioned this before, if your payroll isn't until like this Friday for June 16 to 30, you can pay that out of the FY21 funds because it was still things that happened in FY21. And Nancy is saying, so will last year's staff now have the pre-populated steps, or do I still need to add them? Nancy, you need to add them to, and you call your youth staff, so you'll have to add them. I'm hoping that if you re-enroll them in IYIP that the pre-populated steps show up, but that could be an issue. So you do need to at least double check them. And I believe I showed you guys how to use the career services report. Okay. All right. Work sites. I have a note on here to cover work sites. So if we go, oh, these are people, I don't want to show that. I need to get to test. On here, under the work sites, we, at one point in time, we had you guys closing out the work sites for the youth. And we opened up the piece to let you just close them out quickly. That piece is being shut down. So right here on this page, if we are looking at, if we're looking at this add customers, this button is going to redirect to the customer's career plan. Do not add customers from a screen that I'm going to show you in a minute. So right here, this part-time positions filled, if I click on this edit right here, it's taking me to this page. This is going to be shut down. I'm hoping that the programmer shuts it down overnight, because this was only supposed to be open for a couple of weeks for you guys to close out the jobs from last year. But some of you have added customer jobs from this space. You need to, I'm sorry to say this, but you need to remove them all. If you have a list of customers, and I'm going to try and get here, this has only got 2. If they have not had payroll uploaded, you can remove them. If they have had payroll uploaded, we have to remove the payroll before you can remove the person. So this is very important that you guys track any and all employment through the career plan. So if you have people that were added and you're seeing, if you're seeing this page, it's wrong. And I apologize for that, because this was supposed to have been shut down and the programmer didn't get it done. But to track everything appropriately, all of the days, all the subsidized days, all of the everything, it has to be done through the career plan. So then you would go to the customer's career plan, update the information on there. Does anybody need me to show them how to do it appropriately?
Me.
Well,
Come on.
Yes.
all right. So on your groups, you go to a, first thing you have to make sure that all of your work sites are listed in the worksite placement, because otherwise they won't show up on the steps. You go to your group, click on the list. It gives you a list of the people. And when you are in here, you click on their name. It takes you to their profile. Go to their career plan. And just to let you know, if you click on anything in this worksite placement, it takes you to the wrong page as well. He is supposed to be closing this up today. So if you go to the career plan and you add a step or service, if you are in the get a job, why can't All right, there's a problem with this one. Let me go back to somebody else. You click on the pencil here, and then you follow all of the steps to complete the step by picking a goal, adding the position from here, completing all of the date information, the subsidized wages started. This one would be terminated. Unfortunately, that's the only option for you to do that with. And then when you save it, it will update. The link on this employment termination report was wrong, so we have that fix coming up. We continue saving the changes. It will ask you, or it will give you the green page right there. Yeah, thank you, Sarah, for learning the lesson the hard way. How can you check to determine whether a youth was entered incorrectly? I believe I missed it. Okay, the first thing that you would see is on here under work sites, you would see, and sorry, my page is big, so it's bleeding over. You would see work sites here, but if you go to enter the subsidized wage or end the subsidized wage or put them on inactive or any of that kind of stuff, you will not see the steps in their career plan. That's the biggest way that you can tell. So you need to make sure that you're comparing the work sites here to the work sites on the work sites tab on their profile. What we do have happening when he closes up the wrong page, let me open this in a new link so that I can bounce back and forth. This page right now is going to the wrong place. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he fixed this in test. Let me try it one more time. All right, so right now what it's doing is it's taking you back to your steps page. So this is in test. It will get pushed to production tonight. So then you don't have to worry about it. But if you, again, if you don't see the items, if you see the items here and you don't see them in their steps, you know it's wrong. So LaDon, did that answer your question?
That was me, Darrell. I think I just added like 43 youth incorrectly.
Uh-oh. I saw that eye roll.
I can't. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, Darrell. I got the instructions, the right way to do them on the partner page. So, and I did it the right way in the video. Because we've been advocating for a year and a half now to do it through the career plan. All right, and then somebody asked something. Do you mind showing the steps for removing the employers from last year and before? The challenge with that is if you remove the employers, the associated job placements for the youth get all messed up. So you really can't remove the employers. I do know that one of the agencies is tracking their employers by doing like FY21 or FY22, some sort of denotation so that they know that it's this year's job versus last year's job. So if you want to re-enter employers and track them that way, then you can do that. If you want to, this might be where the rename your employers came from. If you want to go to the work sites, let me try this one. If you click on the employer or on the work site, let me go to one where I think it's, so this one right here might be from last year. So if I click on that name, I can potentially put FY21 behind that and then save it. And then when I go back to my list of work sites, it will say FY21 on it. So if you've got an old agency, or maybe I'll put your kids in Walgreens and there's 12 Walgreens around you. Label the Walgreens so that you know which one you're picking. Worksite agreements happen if you want to click on the resources tab and go to file uploads. Then you can see what's been uploaded. And I would make sure that I always put a description in there, because the file name might not be enough of a description.
So all of your partner agreements should go here?
The worksite agreements should go here.
And the trainings of our staff should go here too, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
Automate, okay, I think Kristen was typing while I was talking. So Kristen, what process are you talking about?
I think we entered our work sites and student pairings incorrectly. So I was just curious, because we already uploaded all of that information, would there be like a way to download it and then upload it through the career plan? Just thinking, it took us a long time to get that all in. So just thinking about how much time it'll take to re-enter. And, you know, as a type 1 program, we're 6 weeks, so we're rushing to do all this stuff in a short timeline.
Yeah, the work sites are okay. It's the employment for the youth that has to be entered right. So you don't have to change the work sites too.
Okay, but I think
the
we
youth.
entered, yeah, I think we entered the youth in the incorrect way. So we have to remove all of them and then add them in the new career plan, 46 youth. So just wondering if there's any way to automate that, or.
No, no, because it's 46 different files. We'd have to do it one at a time too. If youth were closed out and you did it the wrong way, if it's from YIP or CSYEP or the DHS Youth, you don't have to worry about it. If it was anybody from IYIP, just this past fiscal year, you need to fix them. Okay. All right, I'm done talking. Does anybody have any questions for the good of the group?
Dee, I came in late. Is this one's being recorded? When will it be up?
I'm going to try and get it up by tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Do I need to stop the recording before you ask them?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions that I can answer while I'm recording? Frank saying, am I misunderstanding the first step for adding youth to work sites? The PDF says select add customer next to the employer worksite to display a list of, oh. Well, okay, so what happens? This is supposed to redirect. So if you're reading this and seeing this to say add customers, if I click this add, it's supposed to redirect you to go to the career plan.
That
So-
did happen with me, Dee.
Okay,
It did.
so Frank, is this happening for you? And Frank's not talking to me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm not sure, I don't have it pulled up. I'm not sure if it's coming up like this now, but when we ran it, when I did it initially, I don't believe that this redirected when we pulled it up.
Okay.
Did this happen with anybody else out there? Because I did get this screen. When I was trying to add a customer, I was trying to do it through the career plan and I couldn't do it. So I went, quote, the wrong way and it redirected me to this page, to the career plan.
Yeah, so
I guess my question is, was I the only one redirected back to that page? That's to the group.
I hope not.
No, I was redirected, but I knew how to go, so.
All right, so this is. All right, I'm not going to take the time of our meeting to go through this, but I will go through these directions here to make sure that they say the right things. And then the other piece. This is adding a work site. So this says add employer work site. All right, and right here it says preferred method is to add customers to the work site through their career plan. And the rest of these instructions are talking about the way that you're supposed to do it. So hopefully you have the June 2020 V8 instructions. So Frank's saying step 1. Select the worksite placement tab, select add employer. Wait, am I on the wrong place? select add customer next to, and then it's supposed to redirect you. Another modal window will open that says redirecting to career plan. So these instructions have been up since last June. I do know that it was broken for a while because we were trying to allow you guys to close out your old youth from the program. So I apologize for any confusion, but this is the right way to do it from these directions. Okay. Any other questions about this? Yeah, I'm sorry, Frank. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now and we'll answer questions that we need to go to specific customers. Thanks for watching. All right, who has a question?
I do. I think it'll